Guys and girls, let me just turn my screen off. Are you ready? Right. I hope you're sitting comfortably. I hope you have got a pen and paper because you are in for an absolute treat. If you guys have ever heard of Frank Kern, Russell Brunson, any one of those guys, this guy is UK's answer to those people. So, little introduction. Matt is one of those rare marketers who has Facebook and funnels wrapped around his little finger. As a marketer, he spends over £5.3 million per year on Facebook ads. And in the last 3 months alone, he has generated over 42,000 leads and built audiences of over 5 million people. And that's just from Facebook and Instagram, by the way. All in all, Matt has made £6 million in front-end sales on Facebook. And his Facebook mastery has earned him two ClickFunnels awards, which basically means he's generated over £1 million from one single funnel, and he's got 2 of them. Okay, so you guys are in for an absolute treat. It is my absolute pleasure to introduce CEO of Einstein Marketer, Mr. Matt Wilson. Over to you, my friend.
Cheers, Stas. Thank you, mate. God, that was an introduction and a half. I was sitting here sort of blushing then. Thanks so much.
I've been practicing that a long time, mate.
Brilliant. Right. Hi, guys. Yeah. So how do I get on this screen now, mate? Because I can't even see myself. Am I on? Can everyone see me?
Yeah. You're on. We can see you. Have you got any slides or are you just talking?
Yeah, no, I have. I've got slides. Of course, yeah, I've got slides.
So if you just share your
my screen in a second.
That's it.
I'll do a little intro. All right. And guys, awesome. Well, for the 185 people, wow, that are on this, thanks so much for that introduction, Stas. Really looking forward to this, guys, and I hope you are. I'm going to bring a load of really good value to you guys. And we'll get started in just a second, but hope you're all ready. Like Stas said, if you can get a pen and a paper, I've been out for a run this morning. I'm on my 3rd cup of coffee, so I'm ready to go. I've got a load of energy that I'm going to bring your way. If just quickly, before we go into my slides and begin, just give me a little a sort of note in the comments. If you've ever heard of me or seen any of my stuff before, just give me a yes. And if you haven't, just give me a no. It's completely for ego purposes, obviously. But no, okay, I love it. I love it when there's loads of people that don't know me. Good, makes me feel better. They don't know my bad habits. Okay, guys, well, listen, we're going to get straight into it. But what I'm going to be talking about today, just so that you know, I'm going to be going over a load of stuff when it comes to funnels and ads, all right? So how to generate leads, how to convert those leads, how to use Facebook ads to actually drive people into that funnel. So I'm just going to share my... Stas, I think you need to make me you need to let me share my screen if you can.
Give me 1 second. There you go. There you go. You should be all good now, mate.
Brilliant. There we go. Okay.
Yeah, perfect. I can see your screen, mate. Loud, all good.
There we go. Okay, cool. Okay, guys. So who am I, first of all? So like I said, Stas said, my name is Matt Wilson. All in all, really, I'm just a family man. I've got 3 beautiful kids, as you can see there, an ugly dog, and a beautiful fiance who now should have been my wife about 4 times over. We've had to cancel our wedding now 3 times because of COVID-19. So that beautiful lady there, Emily, she should actually be my wife, but she's not just yet. We've got to wait till next year now. But I've got my son Ben, Isabel, and Sophie, and I started all of this sort of stuff, internet marketing and digital marketing and lead generation, just over a decade ago now. So I've been doing it for about 10 years. And I've learned a hell of a lot along the way. And, I've started to get a little bit of a reputation recently in the last couple of years since I started my company, Einstein Marketer. For those of you guys that don't know who we are, which there's a lot of you that don't, Einstein Marketer are a marketing agency. So we build funnels and run ads for our clients. So we're not the guys that teach it. We're the guys that do it for people. And pretty much anyone that you've heard of, not that they like to be called that, but the quote unquote gurus in this space, Simon included, some other big guys, Rob Moore, Andy Harrington, John Pemberthy, all of these guys, they're our clients. So we're the ones that build funnels and run ads for these guys. And obviously a wide range of other clients in lots of different industries as well. And we started Einstein Marketer about 3 years ago now. And, we've just gone from strength to strength. So right now I'm actually in my office. We've got a big office down here in Kent where I live. I'm here at the Einstein HQ, which we moved into last week. So yeah, really excited to do this training with you guys. Buckle up, make sure you've got a pen and pad ready to go, and we'll get straight into it. So yeah, like I said, my name's Matt Wilson. I've now won 2 of these bad boys. These are awards that ClickFunnels awards to their members if they build a sales funnel, and we'll get to the difference in a minute, that does over $1 million in revenue. And I've got a couple of these now from ClickFunnels. So I don't really like to talk about myself too much. I haven't got any sort of other accolades, really. That's me. I'm a family man. I run a company called Einstein Marketer, right? It makes me uncomfortable talking about myself. But I do understand the importance of you knowing why you're sitting here, giving up your Saturday morning, listening to me. So I've got to do a little bit of positioning, right? I've got to tell you a little bit about me. What I'm about to walk you through now, these funnels and ads, is basically a proven process that has worked for not only us, but hundreds now of our clients. And just so that you know, we've got clients that are coaches, consultants, but also double glazing firms, solicitors, accountants, dentists. We work with loads of them because the strategy, the system is always the same. In the first month of COVID last year, when a lot of businesses were folding and going under, we were running this for ourselves. And what you're looking at now is just a little screenshot of our Stripe account, which doesn't include any of our agency revenue. It's just the revenue that comes in through this system that I'm about to show you. We did just shy of £54,000. And since then, I took that other screenshot at the end of the year. We did £837,000 just using these strategies that I'm going to be teaching you now. All right. And that sort of stuff allows me to do what I love to do, which is spend time with my family, go on holidays. Not that we've been able to do that recently, and all of that good stuff. Okay, right. So let's get into it. So just so you know how this presentation is going to go, for those of you that do know me will know, there's not going to be any fluff, okay? I'm going to give you a ton of value. This isn't a presentation, as none of mine are. I haven't quite figured the secret of doing that yet, where I'm going to tease you and give you enough information so that hopefully you buy something at the end of this training. I've got nothing to sell. I've got a little opportunity for you to talk to us at the end, but that's it. I've got no testimonials to show you. You can find all of them on the site that I'll give you at the end. You can check us out and Google us and check out our Trustpilot reviews and all that. This presentation is for you and you alone. So I've made this as content rich as I possibly can. Granted, I've only got an hour and 25 minutes to go. All right. So I'm going to do everything I can to get as much information in there. All right. Now, the people that do this sort of stuff for a living and sell on these types of platforms will say, well, that's a bad idea, because if you teach them too much, they ain't going to want to buy nothing off you. But, fuck that. That's not really my style. So also the occasional F-bomb will come out my mouth. Apologies for anyone that takes offense. All right. So what we're going to talk about first of all is sales funnels. We're going to dive into some sales funnels basics in the time that we've got. And then we're going to move into some Facebook ads basics as well. And I'm going to give you some really cool, clear direction on that. All right. So an intro into sales funnels. What we're going to cover in the next sort of 45 minutes is there's a time and a place, the goals of an online sales funnel, the different types of sales funnels, and coming up with your own funnel strategy. All right. So first of all, why do you think you need a sales funnel? What is a sales funnel? Well, a sales funnel, in terms of the terminology used now, can be a little bit misconstrued. At the end of the day, sales funnels have been going on since business began. Okay. A sales funnel used to be, you used to have an ad or something in the yellow pages, and then that would drive people to the phone, and then on the phone you would close them. That is a funnel. So the sales funnel in a traditional sense, and how it's been taught like a lot by the gurus out there over the last couple of years is, give away something for free, then you try to sell them a little really cheap price thing, then you try to sell them a little bit more price thing, then you upsell them into a bigger thing. That's one version of a sales funnel, but that's not a sales funnel. So what I want you to do first of all is just clear your brain about everything you know about them, because what you've got to start doing for you in your business, whether you've got one or you haven't yet, the first thing that you've got to start thinking about is, what is the process? Let's start looking, instead of saying sales funnel, let's say, what is the sales process that we are going to take someone that doesn't know us, so a complete stranger, i.e. someone that sees an ad. What is the process we're going to take that person through to eventually make the sale we want to make? The piece in between is the funnel, okay? So first of all, there's a time and a place. I think this is one of the biggest problems that we see in our agency when clients first come to us for help, is that they are trying to sell the wrong product or service in the wrong environment. So what I want to talk to you a little bit now, I'm the only person that I've ever heard sort of mention sales environment, but I really want to try and sell this point to you, because there's a very, very good chance you've got an idea. Maybe you're promoting an affiliate product. Maybe you've got a product or a service. And what you've done is you've gone online and you've seen a guru and he's standing there and he's saying, sell on a webinar. It's the only thing that works. And then you're not getting results. Well, there's a very good chance that the reason you're not getting results is because the webinar is the wrong environment to sell what it is you're trying to sell. All right. And not a lot of people talk about this. What a lot of people out there that are teaching and trying to get you to buy, right? All those guys that are teaching something, they know one thing. So they try to fit you a square peg into their round hole, right? What we do here at Einstein Marketer is we say, right, okay, you're a square peg. What square hole have we got over here that can fit you into it? That's where your brain needs to be. All right. So I want you to start thinking about that. Just quickly before I move on, because sorry, I haven't actually checked in with you guys. Can everybody see me and hear me? I just want to go to how do I get the comments up from here? Can you just give me a yes, just to make sure you can see and hear me? Because I haven't even checked in with you guys yet.
Yeah, loud and clear, mate. We can see and hear you. All coming through, mate. Yep, all good, all good.
All coming through. Brilliant. Thought I'd just check that. Sorry, I occasionally get really, really excited and passionate and just go on rants for ages and then just forget that there's 185 people watching me. So yeah, so I want you to start thinking about the sales environment. So here's a couple of tips, all right? Here's my guidance on what price point, before we go into anything else, what price point should be sold in what environment, all right? And hopefully this gives you some ideas about the thing that you've got, where you should think about selling it, all right? So, first of all, we've got 0 to about £250. Now, bearing in mind, I'm not just pulling this out of me behind. This is proven data that we have got. On average, we spend anywhere between £500,000 and £700,000 now every single month on ads. And all of this information is through testing, and we've tested all of this stuff. So we've tried selling something for this price in this environment. We know what works and what doesn't. So anywhere from sort of 0 to £250, you can make the sale off of the page. And what I mean by that is having a page like a website, not that I would recommend that, but having some form of page, a sales page, and getting someone to make a buying decision on that page. Between those price points work. So before I go any further, I want you to try and make some notes in this next piece I say, right? The most valuable skills that we as marketers have, actually the most valuable skill, is empathy, all right? So if you're trying to start any sort of business, at the end of the day, you guys need to become marketers. You need to start thinking like a marketer, all right? And the most valuable skill that a marketer can have is empathy when trying to sell something anywhere, all right? So being empathetic, all right, and trying to understand our target market, let's have a little sort of jump into their brain and think of the thought process that's going through their heads when you're sending someone to a page, a website, just a normal written page, might have a sales video on it, for instance, but a page, and you're asking them to buy something for £1,000. Let's be empathetic now, and just because so many marketers are naive. What they are is they're naive. So they don't actually think. They think that the reason they're not getting any sales and things aren't working is because their audience is wrong, their offer's bad, it doesn't work, all of this stuff. They're not actually being empathetic and thinking about it from the user's point of view. So here's a couple of things that are going through your audience's minds, or your target audience's mind, when you give them an offer. This is the main one. Is this person going to steal my money? That is a fact. That is going through everyone's mind. For someone that doesn't know you and you are putting an offer in front of them, they are thinking this, whether consciously or unconsciously, it doesn't matter. That is the controlling force, the controlling question that makes them make that no decision when you put an offer in front of them. Is this person going to steal my money? Are they a con man or woman? Now, most of you, none of us are, right? Okay. And there's loads of people out there that will say we are just because we're trying to sell something. But that is going through their minds because there's no trust there. There's not enough trust for that person to make £1,000 buying decision on a page because they don't know enough about you. All right. All they can do is read. And these fears are in their minds. That is always constantly there. So we don't run away from it. We need to address it. In everything we do, we need to think about ways that we can overcome that. Now, we can overcome it easily when our price point is from 0 to about £250. Why? Because when they're making the buying decision, let's work with 50 quid, for instance. When they're making a buying decision for £50, that thought is still in their minds. But now what they do is they think, okay, it looks valuable. And if it does even half of what they're saying it does on the tin, it's going to be worth the 50. If it doesn't, and they are going to steal my money, I can punt 50 quid. That is the thought process that's going on in their brain. So for £50, a lot of people can, using my terminology, they can punt 50 quid. Well, I'm willing to take the risk with this £50 to find out if Matt Wilson is chatting nonsense or he's actually legit. I'm willing to risk 50. If that offer was now £1,000, no matter how valuable the fucking thing is, that person's now thinking, well, okay, if it does half of what it does, okay, it's going to be great. But if it doesn't, can I really afford to lose £1,000? Probably not. So they make a no decision. All right. So this, please, that was very important, that little rant that I just went on. I wanted to sell that little belief to you. If you start thinking like that, it could change your whole business because suddenly now, based on what I'm about to show you on this slide, that you're probably trying to sell the wrong thing in the wrong environment. So, sorry, that was a little rant. I went off on a tangent there. 0 to £250, that can be sold on the page because people will make a buying decision in that price point on the page without seeing or hearing your voice, knowing you're real, without knowing too much about you. They can make that buying decision for those price points on the page. As we move up into price point now, £250 to £500, that now needs to be moved into a different sales environment to make it work effectively. And a perfect environment for this is a webinar, or you might want to take it offline and do it on the phone. But, for those price points, a lot of the time that won't get you a good return on your investment. But a webinar, because it can be automated and it's scalable and you can sell to more people than just one person, is a perfect environment for those price points. Caveat, you can sell on a webinar for more than £500. And I know people that do it. I'm terrible at webinars and selling on webinars. I hold my hands up. But I know a few people that are very, very good at it for £1,000 and upwards. But the audience has really got to be warm, or you've got to be shit hot on a webinar. Like, you've got to be the nuts about, and because, this is what they don't tell you, when they sell webinar stuff, is that it does take skill. It does take practice to sell on a webinar. So as we move higher than that, this is when we get into like a lot of my clients who are just, they're not in the online world at all, and they're service-based, dentists, solicitors, and all those types of guys, and coaches and consultants that have got coaching packages that are £500, £1,000, £2,000, £10,000. Forget any of the other environments. The only way to sell that effectively and get a good return on your money is the phone, in person, one-on-one, or in person, one-to-many at an event. Those sales environments. So what I want you to do now is look at what you've got, and you can now have a look and see where you can sell. All right. Now, don't get me wrong. You could sell something for £250 in a webinar, obviously. But if you don't do webinars, then don't try to do it. Sell it on a page. So hopefully that made sense. Okay. Just going to take a sip of my water. Hope everyone's enjoying it so far. It's so weird doing webinars. Believe it or not, this is probably my 10th, maybe like 12th or 13th time that I've ever done this type of training where there's 180 odd people looking at me and I can't see you. And it still to this day really weirds me out because I'm just in my office right now, basically talking to myself like a lunatic, which I do most days. But anyway, so if you now know that, all right, if you know now that and for the rest of this, we're just going to work off the fact that you've got something fairly high ticket to sell, right? You've got something for, say, £500 or upwards, because that's really where you can really grow a good business. If you know now that you need to either get them on the phone or in person or an event to make the sale, the question now, what's happening? There we go. The question now becomes, how do I get more people to book a call to speak with me or my team? That's where your focus can go, all right? And this is one of the strategies that I'll be showing you today. I'll be showing you the other funnels, but the one that I really want to hit home is that one, because right now, since last year, since COVID hit, these are the ones that are making our clients millions every single month, like millions of pounds in sales every single month are coming through these strategies, okay? So you basically got your audience, okay? And then you've got your environment, wherever that is. So it could be a webinar, could be the phone, could be the page, whatever. Your funnel is what connects the two. Your funnel is what takes the people wherever they are, Facebook, YouTube, Google, LinkedIn, right? Wherever your audience hang out. The funnel is the connecting bridge between where they are and where you want them to be, which is in a sales environment, okay? So let's now move on. That's sales environment done, time and place. Let's now move on to the number one goal of a sales funnel. I'm going to walk you through the 3 goals of a sales funnel. Here's goal number 1. To capture a lead. No matter what it is you're doing or what funnel or what business you've got, you now need to switch your environment. Hopefully, I'm going to hit this home. And after this, you now become lead generation machines. The first goal, no matter what you're doing, should be to capture a lead. And we do this by offering a valuable piece of information to that audience in exchange for their contact information. This is known, the phrase for this, you know, the sexy little term for it these days is called a lead magnet. You've all seen them. The only reason probably to be honest, this is a lead magnet. You've registered for a piece of valuable information. This is a lead magnet in itself. You've all seen lead magnets, right? Downloadable PDFs, cheat sheets, templates, scripts, something of value that your audience need, and you're going to offer it to them for free if they give you their information. What are they saying when they give you their information in exchange for a lead magnet? What are they saying? Well, let's say, for instance, if I'm an accountant and I've got a lead magnet, which is a PDF, and that PDF is called, 5 ways to save money on your tax return. That's what it's called. What is that person? If someone lands on a page and then gives me their information because they want that, what is that person telling me as the business owner? They're holding their hands up and they're saying, I want help with my tax return. I want to save money on my tax return. So me, as an accountant, knows now that the leads I'm capturing, I can potentially, in some way, further on down the line maybe, help and offer my products or services to. Does that make sense? I don't know why I'm asking. I can't see you. Give me a little yes just to make sure that all makes sense. Does that make sense? Does that hit home? Yeah. Okay. I can see a load of yeses coming in now. Good. Right. So that's the most important thing. Why is this important? Well, this is important, especially when you're going to spend money on ads. And let's face it, if you want to grow a business, you've got to spend money on ads. You've got to. Organic stuff and referrals, that'll get you so far. That might be where you're at now. But to get to the next level and really scale a business, you need to spend money on ads. So if we're going to spend money on ads, We want to make sure that the money we're spending there is as efficient as possible. And I'll get to that bit a bit later. Goal number 2 of a sales funnel. Goal number 2 is to get your prospect into a sales environment. So traditional sense, if you read Russell Brunson's books and all this sort of stuff, and digital marketers stuff, who I'm really close with, right? You read any of their stuff, goal number 2 is now to convert that lead into a customer. But we have just determined that if what I've got to offer is £500, if I now offer them something immediately, £500, no one's going to buy it. So goal number 2, I've changed it slightly. And goal number 2 now is, how do we get that prospect that's just given us their information? What can we do to try and move them into a sales environment that suits what I've got to offer? So if you are selling something for 50 quid, for instance, then great, sales page. If you're selling something for higher, we need to offer them an opportunity to come into a webinar or a phone call or an event, right? So hopefully that makes sense. And we can do this by immediately making them an offer to do so. Immediately making them an offer to do so. This is what I mean by this. So please make sure you write this down, because this is potentially one of the most important things that I'm going to say on this whole training. The most valuable page in your whole business is your thank you page. Your thank you page. The most valuable page. And I'm going to tell you why. Let's say, for instance, if 100 people give me their information for a lead magnet, without a doubt, 100% of those 100 people, all 100 of them, are going to see my thank you page. Why? Because what they're trying to do is what they're thinking is, I'm going to get that lead magnet on the thank you page. So they sit there and they wait for it to load, and they look at the screen, and they're giving you their attention. This is the only time where 100% of your prospects will give you their attention. After this, what happens? Because a lot of people just say, thanks for downloading it, here's the thing. And they think, yeah, great. Now I can send them an email tomorrow and offer them a product, or try to get them into a sales environment. And do you know what happens? Those 100 people, only 20 people open the email the next day. So now I've only got 20% of my leads' attention because I've waited. So the thank you page is the most valuable page in your whole business. This is where you should have an offer. And when I say offer, I don't mean buy something. At least get them into a sales environment, because for the most part, it is the only time they are going to see it. I got very serious there, didn't I? I got really serious and stern there. Goal number 3 of a sales funnel is to convert your prospect into a customer. So now we want to convert them into a customer. Now we've got them into a sales environment that suits our product, our business. We now want to convert them into a customer. And we do this by delivering massive value and following a proven sales process that closes deals. So this could be your webinar. This could be your phone script, right? Your phone call, the way you structure the phone call. This is what I'm talking about here. Brilliant. Okay, so the different types of sales funnels now, all right? The different types of sales funnels. So now, you know the goals. I'm now going to show you the different types of funnels. Now, these are the funnels that we build here at Einstein Marketer, and we promote for our clients. So there's lots of different ones. And the good thing is, I'm going to give you a variety of them so that you can say, that one looks good. And there's lots of different reasons why you should choose them. And I'll walk you through all of those now. So the first and most simple is a lead generation funnel. All right. One that simply just captures does exactly what I just showed you there. Captures a lead, tries to get them into a sales environment. So we have a lead magnet, first of all, a lead magnet page. This is an example of one of Einstein Marketer's lead magnet pages. All right. The ultimate guide to Facebook audiences. They then from there, again, thank you page, most valuable page. They then go to a page immediately where I'll try to offer them to talk to us about our services. All right, immediately. So I'm going to offer them now immediately there, because 100% of them are going to see it. I'm now going to make them an offer for a really valuable free call with one of my team. Okay. And the way we do it here at Einstein Marketer, this is how we do it, and a little bit different to a lot of more pushy companies out there. But what we do is we deliver first on what the call's going to be, which is a 45-minute. We have various different, we've got a Facebook ad strategy call. We've got our funnel game plan call, lots of different ones. We deliver that. And then before we even sell, we ask them at the end, we say, would you like to hear about our services and how we can help you? And if they say no, which most of them don't, to be honest, if they do say no, okay, great. Hope you got value. See you later. Yeah. If they say yes, great. They've now given us permission to tell them about the services and products that we provide that could potentially help them achieve their goals. So there's a little tip about how you can structure yours. All right. And then from there, we get them on the phone and hopefully close the sale. So that's an example of ours. You could also, that middle page, remember, could be a webinar. You could offer them to come to a webinar. You could offer them something. Well, I'll get to that in a minute. You could offer them something on the page. You could offer them to come to an event. Point is, we've captured the lead first, so they're qualified. And now we're going to make them an offer to move into a sales environment. Remember, the only time 100% of your leads will ever see what it is that you've got is on the thank you page. So a product funnel. What I see a lot of people do wrong, it's not really wrong because you can do it this way round, and we have as well, is drive people straight from an ad straight to a product offer, straight to a product. All right. So buy this thing, yes or no. What we tend to do to make it more efficient, which we'll get to in a second, to make it more efficient for our ad spend, is we first send them to a lead magnet. We first, knowing the goals of an online sales funnel, what's goal number one, guys? Capture the lead. We first send them to a page where we're going to capture their information. All right. Then from there, what we do is we then show them a time sensitive. It can either be time sensitive. It can be like a big discount product offer. Remember, because we're now what we're now doing. We're now asking them to make a buying decision on the page. So it's got to be under 250. This particular one that I'm showing you here, the Facebook ads crash course, when we promoted it was 45 quid. 45 quid. So that's perfect, right? They then see that. But then I don't just want the people that want £45. There's only so much that my training can help them. Where we can really help people is writing ads for them, running ads for them, building funnels for them. So what I do after that to maximize it is I then offer them, because now every buyer will look at this page as well. I then offer those buyers a chance to book a call and speak to our team. Now, a lot of you won't even have something where you need to do that. You might just have a product. So this would be a perfect funnel for you. But try to go lead magnet first. And I'll get to the reasons why in a second. But if you've got other products or services that are 500 and above, get them into a sales environment like a webinar or the phone where you can actually offer them those services, right? Then we get them on the phone and hopefully close a sale. The next is a messenger funnel. Sorry, guys, 2 seconds. Sorry, guys, there was someone making a noise downstairs in my office. I had to tell him to shut up. Let me just go back to this screen quickly. So a messenger funnel next. So a messenger funnel is great because, and Stas is the man with this, by the way. So Stas helps us with all of our funnels, right? Messenger funnels are great because they can be done organically. So for those of you guys that are on a really tight budget, a messenger funnel can be great because they can, obviously it's going to take your time, but they can be done without spending money on ads. But what we do is we run ads. We run ads and the call to action is messenger. And what we're trying to do here is start a conversation. What we're trying to do here is get them into messenger so that we as a human can take over at some point, take over with a little platform called ManyChat. Stas might have already spoke to you about that. Take over the conversation in the messenger platform, all right? And then try to get someone to book a call from Messenger. So this is a really good funnel for a lot of our clients. Okay. And why does it work? Because Messenger is such a one-on-one environment. It builds massive trust and credibility because they're literally talking to you, right? They're asking you a question and you're answering it. All right. And there's a way to semi-automate it as well, which I'm sure Stas has been over. If not, I'm sure he will for those of you guys that have booked a call to speak to him. Yep. And then what we do is we get them on the phone and hopefully close the sale. So a messenger funnel is a really good one. If you've got no budget, that would definitely work for you guys starting out. You can offer something in there, and there's an organic strategy. You can go into groups. You can drive people into messenger from there, right? You can like hustle and do some work, finding like-minded people that might be interested in your stuff and drive them into messenger from there. We've got the webinar funnel. So this is a webinar funnel. Where a webinar, we get them to register for the webinar. Again, that's sort of a lead magnet in itself, a webinar, because like this, right? We're effectively getting them to register for something, give us their information to receive a load of value on a webinar. So a webinar registration sort of ticks both boxes. And then from there, they're actually on the webinar. All right, we actually deliver the webinar. It's just a screenshot of a slide from one of my webinars. Yeah. And then from there, what I do, again, we can either make the sale on a webinar, which is great, right? Remember, if it's the right environment, we can make a sale there. We can ask them to buy something for $250, $500. However, if we're above that and we've got other services that we might want to offer them, we offer the phone call on the webinar. So we don't even ask them to buy anything. We offer them the phone call, okay? And then we get them on the phone. We add value with whatever it is we're doing. And if they want to hear more about our services, we can hopefully close a sale. And then the last one, which we have just started. So this one, we started running and promoting these for our clients in the middle of last year, about August time. And they were working so well for our clients that we have now just launched a Facebook group 4 weeks ago. So 4 weeks ago, I launched a Facebook group called Client Conversion Secrets. It's a private group. You have to sort of request access to it. By all means, go and request access to it. All we do is we do a live stream in there personally do a live stream in there once a week. We add loads of value in there. All right. We've now got over 1,000. We've only been doing it for 4 weeks on Monday, and we've already got over 1,000 members. I think we got like 1,100 members there now. All right. But again, the Facebook group, okay, is a really, really good place where the people that we're targeting hang out. But then what we do, the strategy for Facebook groups, by the way, guys, is a messenger strategy. So what we need to do is we need to get people to raise their hands in the group. And after we give a load of value first, and people that want to hear more, we don't want to be selling in the group, because if we just sell in the group and sell in the group, no one wants to be in a group like that. No one wants to be in a group where every time Matt Wilson comes on, he's shoving an offer down my throat. All right. What we want to do instead is we want to get them to just indicate interest and then move them into an environment. All right. Because Facebook groups, I don't think, are an environment to sell. We move them into an environment where we can sell, i.e. Messenger. And then from Messenger, we get them to book a call with us and then get them on the phone and hopefully make the sale. Now, we started this group 4 weeks ago, and we have already closed 30 grand's worth of business revenue, and they all paid in full. Every single one of them has paid in full. So that was cash collected. Why? Because the value that we added there and the trust that we built up made the buying decision easier. Remember what I said earlier? If you just send them to a page and it's like, buy this thing for £500, they got too many fears, man. They've got these too many unanswered questions. What's this guy? He looks dodgy. You know, he wears shorts a lot, right? He talks weird. He sounds a bit common. All this sort of stuff's going through their brains. Whereas because they're now indoctrinated into me and I've built up a load of trust and I've shown them that I'm a good guy and I've got a great company, all right, and I genuinely want to help, the buying decision became so easy. So we're really excited about our group now, because the people that obviously that's only sort of 4 or 5 customers, but the 1,000+ customers that haven't yet purchased anything are loving it. And they're in there telling us how much they're loving it. And that's fantastic. So a Facebook group is a really, really good one, again, if you don't have a budget for marketing. Because although I'm running ads and filling this group up, it's growing now organically, and you can grow a group organically. You can invite people to it organically. You can get people in that are interested in your stuff if you do it right. Okay. So that's another really good one if you haven't got a budget. So then what happens, right? Over time, what you guys should do really after this call, what I want you to think about is, okay, knowing this now, when you get off of this call, okay, right. So I think based on what Matt said, I think a lead gen funnel is going to be good for me. All right. So then go and actually work on getting that in place. But then this is how you scale. This is how you create a business like mine. You end up over time having all of these funnels in place, all driving people into sales environments, because bearing in mind, I mean, we have products that are, 45 quid, like I mentioned earlier, but we've got done for you services that are as high as 10 grand. And then our agency retainer is minimum £1,500 a month. So a lot of the time, the sales environment for our business is the phone, because we can't get someone to make a 10 grand buying decision on a webinar or on the page. All right. So what happens over time is you have all of these things feeding your sales environments, whether that's a webinar, whether that's your sales pages, whatever it is. All right. They're all feeding the sales environment. Yeah. So hopefully that makes sense. So now, when you go away after this call and you come up with your funnel strategy, here's just a little tip from me about how to do it. All right. Ask yourself which one of those that I've mentioned best suits your business. Best suits your business, your brand. I keep looking at myself over there, and then over there, I'm looking over there. It's really confusing. I need to look at you guys. Which best suits your brand, your personality, and don't forget your budget. Because here's the thing. There's no point you setting up a webinar funnel if you've got no budget. Sorry, guys, there's not. Because guess what? To make a webinar work at any decent level, you've got to be spending money on ads. You have to. It's very, very hard. Well, if not impossible, I don't know anyone that's done it. It's pretty much impossible, I think, to build a webinar funnel that's working and selling your stuff organically. You basically, you'll have a hell of a lot of work to do that. You're talking to get thousands of people to register and go through your webinar. That's a hell of a lot of work. So again, if you haven't got any budget, that's immediately, you shouldn't be doing that one. Even if you've got a low budget, I would probably recommend the lead magnet funnel. If you've got a product, definitely use the product funnel. If you've got no budget, Messenger or the group will definitely be good for you. Okay. So ask yourself that question. Which one suits the business, the brand, your personality, and your budget? The reason I say personality is because, no matter what the gurus out there would like you to believe, some people can't sell on a sales video or on a webinar because of their personality. But if they got that person one-on-one on the phone, they could sell anything. But they might not have the personality to make it work somewhere else. These are things that these guys won't tell you, right? I'm just being completely transparent and honest. So ask yourself that question, okay? Brilliant. Right, so before we go into Facebook ads, I'm just going to quickly come out of here and look at the chat because I just want to do a little check-in. Is everyone still there? Are you enjoying it? Just give me like a little yes or a no or a go off in the comments if you're still with me, if you're enjoying it so far, because there's a good chance you're all asleep or you've all gone. I don't know. Yep, boss stuff. Oh, boss stuff, like it. Yep, enjoying it. Very, very good. Okay, good. Loads of yeses coming through. Fantastic. Okay, good. So let's crack on. Let's check on the time. Okay, good. Yeah, a little bit behind, but that's all right. Don't matter if we go over, does it? I'm here anyway in the office on a Saturday. I don't want to go home. I hate my kids. Horrible little things. Right, so now Facebook ad basics. Facebook ad basics. Let's jump into Facebook ads now. So what I'm going to teach you now is some real sort of basic stuff when it comes to Facebook ads. All right. And I'm also going to walk you through, because I think it's really, really important that you all know at least how to create an ad. because a lot of people, first of all, we get a lot of people that come to Einstein Marketer to hire us, and they think, for whatever reason, I don't know why, again, it's probably someone out there making a square peg fit in a round hole. They think that video ads are the only thing that works. And I'm like, that's not true whatsoever. If you follow this 3-step process that I'm going to show you guys on this call, image ads work in some cases better than video ads. A lot of you guys might have seen, we do some good video ads. We've had image ads absolutely destroy some of our video ads. All right. So it's really, really important to know that. So we'll get to that afterwards as well. But what I want to walk you through first of all is just some Facebook ad basics. Okay. And again, a lot of you on here, you're on Simon's list, right? And Simon's an amazing marketer. And he's probably taught you some of this stuff already, but maybe not the way I'm going to teach it to you. All right. So let's jump into those now. Okay. So Facebook ad basics. So what you're going to need to start, and again, a lot of you guys probably have this, but again, it's very important that if you haven't, you do. Before you do anything with Facebook and advertise, the first thing that you should all do is don't use Facebook ads. So what I mean by that is go into your personal profile and you click on the little tab and you go down to ads. That's Ads Manager, all right? How Facebook are going to look at you if you advertise there is you're basically Matt Wilson promoting or boosting a post on your page. You want Facebook to start looking at you as a business, because when they look at you as a business, they're going to start giving you more reach. All right. And what I mean by that, let me see if I can use my hands to sort of demonstrate this point here. Let's say we've got John, and John has just got a normal Facebook ads account from his personal profile. Let's say John wants to run an ad to an audience. And let's say I've got Jane over here who's got a business manager account, which I'll get to in a minute. And she wants to run exactly the same ad to exactly the same audience. Facebook will show Jane's first. Facebook will look at her as more important than John, and they will show her ad first, all right? Which is very, very important to know. So the first thing I want you to do, if you haven't yet already done it, and it's not, I should have changed this because it's not, don't type in www because apparently it doesn't work. Go to business.facebook.com and sign up to an account there. And hey, you literally just log in with your normal Facebook details anyway. So it's very, very easy. But get one there. It will give you more tools. Again, you'll be looked at like an advertiser in Facebook's eyes, not just a, average Joe promoting or boosting a post, right? So covered that. So I'm going to be going over Facebook audiences and Facebook ad structure in this, all right? Because what I want to talk to you about, if you haven't yet advertised on Facebook, or even if you have, I want to impress upon you the power that Facebook ads has when it comes to finding your ideal audience. All right. And the tools and the specificness that you can get from Facebook ads. All right. So there's 3 different audience types. So make sure you're writing these down. Okay. There's 3 audience types. We've got interest-based or saved audiences. We got custom audiences, and we got lookalike audiences. Interest-based by the way, the reason it's called or saved is because once you create an interest-based audience, you can save it. So then it becomes a saved audience, all right? Interest-based is saved audiences, custom audiences, or lookalike audiences. So an interest-based or saved audience are a group of people on Facebook that you can target based on things that they are interested in. Duh. Pages that they like, books that they read, people that they follow, companies that they like, and much, much more. Pretty much anything that you can think of, you can target. Why? Because Facebook know more about you than you know about yourself. What Facebook do and the algorithm and how it works, and you don't even know this is happening unless you've watched The Social Dilemma on Netflix. You're scrolling through Facebook, even the slightest change in pace in your scroll when there's a post in front of you, that might be about a dog, even the slightest slowdown to just glimpse at that post, Facebook start building up data on that. So now if you do something else related to a dog post, you are now interested in dogs, right? And what Facebook do in the background and what their algorithm is always doing is they are basically profiling you. They are profiling you for an advertiser like me. But you're now all advertisers. So start enjoying that, because people get weird about it, don't they? Well, Facebook know loads about me. I love it. I'm like, I want to see ads that I'm interested in. I don't want to be seeing ads about stuff that I'm not interested in. So Facebook, fire away. Do what you got to do. All right. So some of the things that you can target in Facebook, but you can also target demographics like age, location, age, gender, relationship status, educational type, and all that sort of stuff. Job type. One example, now famous example that I've given before about the power of audiences, we actually did a video once. We've got a guide, a free guide, and you can get it on einsteinmarketer.com. And it's the ultimate guide to Facebook audiences, about 62-page guide teaching you how to create all of these perfect audiences, right? And we wanted to come up with an ad to give this away. And one example that I use when I'm speaking on stage sometimes, I occasionally speak on stage, and we do a big event once a year called the Entrepreneurs Marketing Conference, EMC. And one example that I always give is if I was selling wedding dresses. So if I sell wedding dresses, right, and I've got a wedding dress shop in Gravesend, a really bad audience for me would be men, first of all, who are married. That's the worst audience that I could create, but I could create it in Facebook. Now, the perfect audience for me, owning a wedding dress shop in Gravesend, would be women in Gravesend who are engaged. The perfect audience, right? Now, I can pretty much guarantee that 90% of wedding dress owners, wedding dress shop owners, are not even using Facebook to promote their business. And it's like, oh my God. And to this day, I've been using this example for about 3 years now, guys. And I've never, ever yet had someone that does sell wedding dresses in the audience. I can't wait till there's someone. And we actually did this to promote this guide. Going back to my point, we actually created an ad where I wanted to prove this point. So I went onto the streets of Dartford and I tried to sell wedding dresses to men. The most embarrassing day of my life. It was like, it took me 2 hours to build up the courage to actually start. I bought really cheap wedding dresses on eBay for like a $5. You should have seen Emily's face when I come back with these wedding dresses. I said, babe, times are tough. I've bought you a wedding dress. And it's like this flimsy little thing. And she went absolutely bonkers. But I had 3 wedding dresses, put them up on a little coat peg. And then I grabbed one and I approached men in the streets and tried to sell them a wedding dress. The point being, doesn't matter how good you are at selling, doesn't matter how good the product is. If you're trying to sell that to the wrong audience, it ain't going to work. All right. So there's a cool little story there for you. So they're interest-based audiences. Here's a targeting checklist for that. So here's just a couple of things to write down when you're asking yourselves this question. A really good practice, and I'm sure, a lot of you guys have heard people say this before, but a good practice for you, just like Facebook do with all of us, it's a really good practice to come up with what's known as a customer avatar, all right, or your customer profile. And again, on EinsteinMarketer.com, we've got you don't need to opt in for it or anything like that. You can literally press a button and it downloads a customer avatar template. And what that will do is there's questions on there that you can ask about your audience, and that information is golden when it comes to creating audiences in Facebook. So ask yourself, who are the authority figures, thought leaders, and big brands in your niche? What books, magazines, newspapers does your ideal customer read? Because books, by the way, are fantastic. One of the most commonly best performing audiences in campaigns that we run for our clients are books. Weird, but for instance, if I don't know, let's say you're promoting something to do with mindset. A great book for that would be Think and Grow Rich, because anyone that's interested in or likes the book Think and Grow Rich is potentially your ideal customer. It says a lot about a person. So do the newspapers that they read, right? What events do they attend? What websites do they visit? Where do they live? And what's specifically unique about this group? So I'll give you just a second on that one, because I know there's probably a few people writing that down. Swig of coffee, swig of water. Okay. Okay, moving on. So, custom audiences. Now, custom audiences change the game. Custom audiences change the game of advertising on Facebook. I mean, these things are unreal. And if you don't know what they are, you better get excited. A custom audience is a list of people that you have acquired on or off of Facebook. So let me explain. Let's say, for instance, you've got a Facebook page now, and you might have had that Facebook page a little while, and you've had engagement on there for a little while. You've never run ads. You can go into Facebook, and you could go to the bottom one, engagement on Facebook, and you can say, Facebook, this is how it works. I'm going to try and use my hands. I'm like a mimer. You can go to Facebook, and you can say, Facebook, show me all of the people that have watched any of my videos. Show me who they are. In fact, they're not going to show you like this is John and this is Jane, but Facebook come back and they say, there's 1,000 people here that have watched your content or engaged in your content on your Facebook page. Okay, brilliant, Facebook. Can you create me an audience of those people? Yep, done. Fantastic. Facebook, can you show an ad to these people? Yep, done. That's how custom audiences work. These are also known, you'll know this terminology, these are also known as retargeting lists. These are retargeting lists, all right? So that's an example of on Facebook, people that you've acquired on Facebook, all right? And the great news is, even if you haven't got an ad account yet, that data, the on Facebook data is saved. So you could go in there now and create some custom audiences of people that have engaged with your posts. Why are these powerful? Because they already know you in some way. They're already aware that you exist. Excuse me. Another example of off of Facebook, this is where it gets really exciting for those of you guys that have got, some sort of list. Let's say, for instance, you've got a subscriber list or you've got a list of customers. You can go into Facebook, customer file, and you can say to Facebook, I've got 1,000 people here that have purchased something from me, or they're on my list. Can you find them on Facebook? And Facebook will say, well, out of that 1,000, I've matched 500 of them on Facebook. Great, Facebook. Can you show those 500 people an ad? Yes, I can. And you can target those people that have already purchased something from you with an ad. How sick is that? Right? That is unreal. Because guess what? When that becomes really powerful is if you've got a new product coming up, if you've got a new offer that you're about to run, a new promotion, a Black Friday promotion or whatever, right? Whether you're online or offline, maybe you're a hair salon. And I don't know why I said that. Maybe you're a hair salon and you've got a list of customers and you're going to be running a promotion in November or whenever for 20% off. Sorry, it's the third time I've coughed now. My mouth's drying up a bit. You can run that promotion to your existing client base, which is so powerful because these people already know, like, and trust you. The next one, the third, and I think the most powerful, is a lookalike audience. Now, this really did change the game. A lookalike audience is a way to reach new people who are likely to be interested in your business because they're similar to your visitors, your leads, or your customers. Right? A lookalike audience is a way to reach new people who are likely to be interested in your business because they're similar to your visitors, leads, or customers. So, lookalike audiences are basically born from custom audiences. So using my example of my customer base that I've just uploaded to Facebook in the form of a custom audience, what I can now do with this, those 500 customers that Facebook have found, I can say, Facebook, can you find me more people that look like my customers? And Facebook will profile your customers and they'll take your customers as a whole and they'll come up with loads of similarities. Well, I can see that for the most part, Your customers are between the ages of 25 and 35. They're also interested in this. They also like that. And they also visit this. Okay, Facebook, knowing that, can you find me more people that look like that? And Facebook take that information and they go out and they find you more people that look like that. And they come back and they say, I found 100,000 more people that look like your existing customers. Would you like me to show you an ad to those people? Fucking right, Facebook. Show an ad to those people, right? Because these people are going to be similar to your existing customers. Human beings are similar in ways. There's people out there that are like us, like-minded people. Everyone on this call probably, right? We're all like-minded people. We want to learn stuff. We want to grow. Facebook will go out and do that for you. How sick is that? So here's the Facebook ad structure. Now, the reason I want to tell you this, by the way, is because a lot of people don't understand this Facebook ad structure in a visual way. They don't understand it in this visual way, all right? So I wanted to show you it just that you've got an understanding. Even if you've run ads before, this still might be quite useful. So at the top, we always have a campaign. The first thing Facebook are going to ask you to do is when you create a campaign is tell them what you actually want to do. So each campaign corresponds to a single advertising objective, like a lead magnet giveaway, for example. All right. So I want to capture leads. That's what I want to do, Facebook. And I'm going to name this lead magnet giveaway. That's all the campaign level is. What is it you're asking me to do? I'm asking you to capture leads, Facebook. Okay, I've got it. The next thing Facebook are going to ask you to do is who do you want me to show this to? This is when we go into audiences like we've just covered. Now, these are known in Facebook as ad sets. Don't ask me why Facebook decided to call audiences ad sets or why they didn't call ad sets audiences. No idea. An ad set is what it's called in there, but an ad set is effectively an audience. You can set a budget and a schedule for each of your ad sets and organize each ad set by audience segment. For example, audience number 1 is men. Audience or ad set number 2 is women. All right? That's the easiest example I could give. Now, the beautiful thing about this is you can have as many audiences or ad sets as you want in a campaign. Okay? You can have some of our clients that are spending 10 grand a day, for instance, on Facebook. We might have 50 different audiences running in that campaign at the same time. Now, there's probably a very good chance none of you are at that level yet. So you would only need a couple of audiences at one time. But the beautiful thing is, this means that you can test which audiences are going to work best. Then, within each audience, or ad set, within each ad set, you can now feature multiple ads. And we're going to be getting to ads in a minute, featuring different images, text, links, or videos. So let's say, for instance, you've got one ad, which is exactly the same as your second ad, but the second ad has just got a different image. This is also known as split testing. So you can actually set up multiple ads to an audience. So you might have a campaign, one audience, women who are engaged in Gravesend. That's my audience. And then I might have 2 ads running to that audience. I might have one ad with a certain lady in a wedding dress and another image with another lady in a wedding dress. And I can then see which ad is performing better to that audience. Okay? So, guys, just quickly, are you all still with me? Just give me a little yes in the comments. Let me know you're loving it, you're liking it, you're hating it, whatever. Just let me know you're still there, basically, because I can't see you, and I'll come out in a second. Just let me know you're all still there. I'll leave this on here because just I know some of you might be writing that down. So a load of yeses coming in. Good. And we've still got 180 odd people on here. Fantastic. I haven't scared anyone off. That's a first. Normally they're all gone by now. No, I'm only joking. Yep, load of yeses coming in. Oh, fantastic. Okay, brilliant. Makes me feel better every now and then checking in with you guys. Lets me know you're loving it. Again, I told you I was going to fry your brain, didn't I? This is not one of those presentations where it's going to be thin. I'm going to give you information as much as I can in the time that I've got. All right. Okay. Now, hopefully you've all written that down. I'm going to move on now because we're a little bit pressed for time. But hopefully I'll be able to pull it back. Moving on. Oh, yeah, by the way, really good resource. www.facebook.com/blueprint. Fantastic resource. If you ever get stuck with some little things, you know, you can use that as a really good resource. They've got everything you need to know there. Now, don't get me wrong. It's not like, you know, one of my trainings where it's like, okay, just do this, because that's all that matters. Everything's there. But if you know what you want, you can go and search for it. And there's articles and, you know, Word documents and stuff that can help you through some little sticky situations if you ever get into them. Really good resource. So write that down. Basically just /blueprint. Okay. Okay, right. Finally then, what I want to do now is we spoke about the funnel where we're driving people. We've just targeted the audiences. Now, you know, don't get me wrong, we've got some of our trainings and things that we've done on Facebook are, you know, 20 hours long. And I'm trying to give you as much as I can. I thought that was a really important piece to understand those things that we've covered so far. But this now is going to be the nugget for a lot of you. If you're running ads and they're not potentially working, this could be a game changer. If you're not yet running ads, then fantastic, because you're immediately going to start doing it the right way. So this is our 3-step ad creation formula that we work on with our clients. When our client wants to run an ad, this is the thought process, the psychology, I suppose, that we go through when creating an ad. And I want you to take this psychology away. Because what so many people do wrong is they just write some copy. They create an image or any old image or any old video, right? A boring video in front of a whiteboard or something, and just like, hi, yeah, come to this thing. Or they've got like a really dull image or whatever. And then they write some copy. And then Facebook ads, they start running it as a Facebook ad. They don't get any results. What do? They blame Facebook. Well, my audience aren't on Facebook, obviously. They're obviously on LinkedIn because I'm B2B. I'm B2B. Never spent, well, tell a lie. We've spent maybe $5,000 on our own business on LinkedIn. Didn't work. And we do run LinkedIn ads for other clients. But we've now spent millions on Facebook for ourselves, and we're B2B, you know. But this is what they say. Facebook don't work on B2B. They're all over there on LinkedIn. Or they say, yeah, just Facebook don't work. It's rubbish. It just doesn't work. Because the ads aren't working. It's not Facebook. It's them, right? So what I want you to do after this is take this away, write this down, really, really simple. When you watch it and when you see it, you're gonna be like, oh, fucking hell, that actually completely makes sense. Okay, so step one, the number one goal that we have to achieve when we are creating an ad. So the number one thing I want you to focus on before anything else, the number one thing is, how do we stop the scroll? This is the difference between a good and a bad performing ad. All right. Facebook, people on Facebook, what are they doing? They're scrolling. They are scrolling through at a very fast pace a lot of the time. All right. And their attention is minuscule. Before we can tell them what we've got, before we can want them to read what we've got, we have to get them to stop the scroll. All right. And we do this with good, sharp images or videos. All right. Something at the very start has got to stop them scrolling. Forget an image that gets them to buy, you know, that tells them what you've got. Does it stop them from scrolling? Okay. So here's a couple of examples of really good performing ads that we've run for a couple of our clients that we've created. This one basically went viral, this ad, because one of our clients, his name was Paul. He owns a company called Porter's Solicitors. You can check him out in Merseyside. And then last year, he come to us because he had this idea with everything that was going on with COVID. So many people were going out of work. There was loads of people that were getting unfairly dismissed, right? They were getting made redundant. They were loads of different unfair dismissals, basically. Also included in that is, you know, I don't know, discrimination, for instance, right? Because of their skin color, potentially, sexual misconduct, loads of different reasons. but we wanted to grab their attention. He come to us. We actually come up with a brand for him called Employment Claims for You, and just run this one ad. And this ad absolutely kicked off because obviously last year, and it's still doing amazingly well. But look at it. As you're scrolling through Facebook and you see this sign, it's a clever image because it's really focused on "you're fired." If you see "you're fired," it does grab your attention a little bit. It does that and switches you out, right? It grabs your attention a little bit. Yeah. So that's just another example of stopping the scroll. Here's an example of an ad that we ran. This is for us, for our Facebook ads crash course. Now, this was a 3-hour condensed, basically start to finish training on Facebook ads, because we've got Facebook ads training that goes up into the hundreds and into the thousands. But I wanted to create something where within 4 hours, that was my goal. In 4 hours, someone could have a campaign up and running, because most people just don't start. And we did that, and we created a really good video ad for it. Some of you might have seen it. We basically recreated the Shining scene where I smashed through my bedroom door, Emily, with an axe. Emily went mad. I didn't tell her I was going to do it. She come home that day after picking the kids up, and we didn't have a bedroom door anymore because I'd chopped it down with an axe. Anyway, I was like, this ad's going to be amazing. And the ad performed well. However, we started running this image ad alongside it, and this destroyed it. This performed so much better. Why? Because it did a better job of stopping the scroll. It's quite loud. 70% off flash sale. People love sales. It was mainly because it was loud, right? It started performing very, very well. Stop the scroll. Here's another example. This is an example of thinking outside the box. So for one of our lead magnets called The Ultimate Guide to Facebook Audiences, which I told you about earlier, all right? A week before we actually got this image, I was scrolling through Facebook. And by the way, let's stop for a second. Here's a really good tip for everybody, and because I now do this as a habit. What I want you to do now, knowing this, what I'm talking about now, for you to get better at your job, you need to start being aware of what makes you stop scrolling. So from this moment on, I want you all to promise me that from now on, whatever it is, doesn't matter what it is, right? And I'll tell you some of the things I've saved in a little while. Doesn't matter what it is. If for some reason it stops you scrolling, I want you now to be conscious and say to yourself, whoa, I remember what Matt said. Why did this stop me scrolling? Doesn't matter why. It stopped you scrolling. So what I want you to do is I want you to hover over the 3 dots. I want you to save it. And I've got folders. I must have saved thousands of ads now, ads or posts, whatever. And I want you to create folders for these ads, right? As soon as something stops you scrolling, I want you to save it. And then when you come to create an ad, you can go back through some of the stuff that stopped you scrolling, because there was something about it. It's totally unconscious, but it stopped you from scrolling. And you can learn a hell of a lot from going through this stuff that stops you scrolling. Anyway, back to my point. Please do that. I was scrolling through Facebook, and there was this eye, just an eyeball, but it was a beautiful eye. It was like this really sexy eye, right? It was a woman's eye, obviously. And she had like long eyelashes, beautiful color eye, and it just stopped me scrolling. I was like, whoa, that really grabbed my attention. So when I was creating these ads for this, I was scrolling through, and I just decided, because I'd saved it and I went back through my saved stuff, I decided if I could find something that related to audiences and eyeballs, right? So I come up with this. I found this image, and it really grabbed attention and stopped the scroll. And the way I linked it up, if you look at the top line of the copy, it says, your audience's eyes are all over the world. The tricky part is knowing how to find them. Simple, right? I've linked it to the image, because some people do it, but I don't really agree with using a completely random image, right? That's not related, where you don't link it in the copy somehow. You can, there's nothing wrong with that. I just don't, it's not me. It's not my personality. I think it's a little bit misleading, and I want to build trust right from the very second that someone sees my stuff. And if I had a picture of a goat fighting a pig. I don't know why I thought of that. It was so weird. My brain's weird. If I had a picture of a goat fighting a pig and knowing it would stop the scroll, but then had no way to link that to what I've got, it's like, yeah, some people do it. I don't agree with it. But, each to their own. I'll leave that to you. So that's an example of stopping the scroll. Step 2. Now we've stopped the scroll. Now you need to, right, okay, cool. Got this. This will stop the scroll, I think. I now need you to switch your focus to the headline. And I need you to think, what headline can I write that isn't going to sell? Don't try to sell. Don't try to get them to click. None of that. The goal of the headline is to make them read the copy. So now what I want you to think is, does this headline intrigue someone or make them curious enough to read the copy? I've stopped the scroll. This part is biologically proven, by the way. This is proven. Like, they've done mass studies on this. This is proven. This is what happens. Something stops the scroll in Facebook. Your eye does not go up. It immediately, unconsciously, you have no control over this, goes down. Human beings read up to down, top to bottom, whatever you want to call it. So once my eye has stopped, I immediately my eye goes down subconsciously. So now I'm looking at the headline, which is why, think about it. When you go to a sales page, headlines are at the top. In a Facebook ad, headlines are at the bottom. That's because your eye conditionally goes down to read the headline. So now that's where their eye's going to look. So now what we need to do is get them to read the copy. So now we need to write a headline that does that. All right. And here's just a couple of examples like this one. No win, no fee guaranteed. Something like that builds curiosity. No win. What you want them doing in their head is no win, no fee. Click the link to receive a zero obligation free initial assessment. What's this all about? A massive 70% off, scaring off your customers stops today. What does he mean by that then? The ultimate guide to Facebook audiences, free download. What's the ultimate guide to Facebook audiences then? All right? That's what you want them doing. Yeah? A little bit of intrigue. Curiosity works well. Incompletion works well. Once you've got them to, I've got a spelling mistake there. Once you've got them to read the headline, now what happens, again, biologically proven, if it does its job, your eyes now go up to learn more. They go up to learn more because they need completion on what they've just read. So now your eyes go up to the copy. This is where the copy is. So now our goal has to be to write copy that makes them want to click. And please remember this, because what so many people try to do is they try to make people want to buy something on the ad. The goal of the ad, for the most part anyway, is to get them to click so that your sales page or your funnel can do the selling for you. If your focus is there, rather than, God, I need to write sales copy like Frank Kern to make them want to buy this thing in the ad. No. Your sales website, your funnel, whatever you want to call it, your webinar, whatever it is, that the job of that, because that's a better environment. An ad is a terrible environment to sell. It pre-sells, it engages them and grabs curiosity, but where you do the selling is on the next step. So the copy should make them click. Really important. So I want you to make sure now from moving forward, if you use this 3-step process to create your ads, I can guarantee, I'm actually going to say it, I never say that, but I can guarantee that you will see an increase in your click-through rate. Your click-through rate of your ads. What's click-through rate? Someone said. A click-through rate is if 100 people see my ad and one person clicks on it, that's a 1% click-through rate. Okay? So you might go into your ads manager and say, well, yeah, I mean, my click-through rate's 0.5%. If you rewrite and redo your ads following this process, using that knowledge of the psychology that goes through people's brains to now create a new ad, 100% guarantee you will see an increase in your click-through rate. Okay?